gotta admit, I didn't. This didn't go as well as I planned. Anyway. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Star Citizen, where we are going to upgrade. We are currently headed to Orison so that we can buy some, well, basically all of the major upgrades for this beautiful C2 Hercules, in hopes that we can defend better against events like last week's, you know, where the pirates took advantage of me trying to take shipping, you know? Not take shipping, but run my shipping run. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're headed over to Cousin Crow's, and let's, well, if I can land this beast, let's head over there. So if you are not very familiar with Orison, you gotta go to the Providence sector of Orison in order to go to Cousin Crow's. That is the opposite direction of going to the main city where you can buy, like, the ships. It works out. Okay. So, Cousin Crow's, you go all the way through the main area, and you go to the back, you turn left, and you go down these shady-like alleys, and you're there. Cousin Crow's. Now, the beauty of Cousin Crow's is that there is just kind of a beautiful display going on right here of various ships in different levels of being constructed, and they did a great job at detailing this place out. And we'll take a look at one of the ships after we buy all of our stuff. So what I'm buying here is basically the remaining parts. Like, I have already bought the quantum drive, so we're just buying the cooler and like the power plant and shield generators, you know, the rest of the basics, and we are upgrading them to the teeth. This cost, with the kind of, if you wash in the cost of the quantum drive, it costs nearly 1 million credits to do these types of upgrades. And that's not a bad thing, especially when it turns out that the C2 can actually ship quite a bit. And you can make about 1 million if you fill it up with, well, not just about 1 million, you can make over 1 million if you fill it up with gold. So I'm going to apply these, and this will be where I'm going to let you guys see the names a little bit more clearly. So if you want to pause as I select these systems, go ahead. So for the coolers, we've got the Blizzard, size 3, grade 1 military cooler. Then we are going to go, we already have the quantum drive. We need to put the power plant in. And notice that there's these yellow things right next to it that we need to pay attention to that by the end of this. So we're going to go in and put the JS500, another size 3 type 1 military grade power plant, and then we are going to put in the FR86s, which are our shield generators. So now that we have made all the changes that we are going to make for this particular round, you want to make sure you hit save changes and equip. This is the kind of lock-in point where all of the stuff will actually be applied. Otherwise, when you hit X, nothing will happen. So make sure you use that button to apply your changes. It's pretty simple. That's the basic gist of it. And then we can look around. There's so much detail in this area. I just didn't have a lot of time to look at this. Let's get moving on to upgrading the guns. But before we do that, I'm going to take a little look at one of the little Easter eggs that are actually found in this area. You can look at a C2 Hercules that's actually, quote-unquote, being worked on in the yard. It's kind of cool. Love the amount of detail in this area. Anyway, let's move on. Now, I very temporarily went over the quantum drive, which is a TS2 quantum drive. This is the fastest quantum drive we can buy for the C2 Hercules. It's compatible with a few other ships too, so you ought to give it a try based off of the ship's specs. I gotta admit, this game continually makes this process of taking off a beautiful process. Love it. And the C2 Hercules has some gorgeousness to it. It's almost like it was built for taking off from Orison. Oh, that's funny. So here we are coming into the beautiful and rather dingy Lorville. This is where we're going to buy the guns. Yeah, we're going to have fun with those. So I thought it would be fun to just take a little look at the difference in lighting, particularly as we come in for a landing. Oh my gosh. This place is fun, especially the fact that it is grimy, it's very heavily industrialized, and they got like all sorts of shipping going on in this corner over here on the right. all the fun details they put into this game. It's great. Now, going into the commerce area, we can find the guns. And the gun in particular that we are going to pick up, well, let's go look at it directly, is this beast right here. Okay, here we go. Now, this particular gun is found right here in the front of the store, right here, the Attrition 4, which will be very nice. And we're going to buy these in let's buy 4. Well, there are 6 on this ship, so, well, okay, fine. We'll just buy all 6. You can see that the cost of these guns are going to add up to a little under, well, okay, 151,000. It's not too far off. But we now have the guns. Let's get those applied. We'll jump over to vehicle weapons. Click on, oh wow, we've got a variety of things here I didn't realize that I had here. Anyway, you go on to click on the weapon, and then you can select the gun. Oh, wait, what did I just click on? Wait, yep, I just selected the wrong thing. Here we go. Start getting all 4 of those applied. Here we go, weapon, click in. Then we got the turret weapons, and there's another turret. We'll go apply to the bottom turrets here. And here we go. Save changes and equip. Make sure you click on that. Here we go. So, that being said, everything felt awesome. I was able to get a full load of cargo sold, and then I went out for another cargo run, and you wouldn't believe it. It wasn't pirates. Let's go look at what happened. So, I went and got a full load of gold. And this was so cool. I was going to go around the ship to make sure everything spawned in, and everything was fine. And Danny, I was super excited, and the game froze and crashed on me. And I lost all of it. All of the gold was gone. So now, here we are. A couple of days later, I've gotten all the way up to the point where I actually have a full load of gold again. And I knew there was pirates nearby, and I made the stupid decision to take off. So let's take a look at what this beautiful beast can do. Now keep in mind, this is the fully upgraded C2 Hercules, and we have some guests show up. I learned that the Cutlass Blue and a mixture of one other ship basically make an unstoppable pair when it comes to taking you down, regardless of how strong your ship is. Now, I have heard rumors that I should have probably considered getting the M2, and since I was alone, I started doing stupid stuff like trying to jump to the other pilot seat. I don't know what I was thinking, but something about the M2, I think it's the M2 that everybody's talking about, is just so stinking strong that the pirates just give up. They don't even try. And this was the point where I realized, I might not have really needed to upgrade the guns on the turrets, because it doesn't, at least if I'm trying to fly the ship and run the guns at the same time, this just ain't gonna work. Now, I actually don't know yet how to communicate via calls, and I'm gonna work on that with my son, who recently purchased the game. We're gonna try to figure out how to make calls work within the game to see if we can actually understand what's going on here. Because if you pay attention to my center bottom console, when I'm inside the cockpit, they actually tried to call me, and I didn't know what to do because I didn't have I didn't have a microphone activated, and I've noticed that if you don't have a microphone plugged in when you start the game, you're pretty much, the game doesn't count the microphone at all, even if you plug it in. So you have to start the game with everything ready. This is the same thing that I have if I have my joysticks unplugged from the computer or something like that, because both of my joystick and the throttle, they have a little bit of drift in them, and it actually causes problems with the fact that I can't really play the game if I start the game with those unplugged. The drift will actually make it so that my screens don't ever turn off, which took me a moment to find that one out. And yeah, that's frustrating. So I thought I had an out, and you'll see that a couple more times, that I almost have an out, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to try to tag these guys. And I shot forever. Now, that's one of the cool things about this particular gun. It seems to have a very long shooting life, and I can keep, if you notice in the bottom right, my shield's at maximum recharge. Now, I've sped up the footage for you guys so that we don't have to go through almost 10 whole minutes of this fight. These guys really did hammer on me for a long time, and I tried very hard not to let them beat me out. And I was impressed that I lasted 10 minutes against 2 ships that were tagging me the entire time. And no matter what I did, like I'm firing the chaff, the flare, I just could not get these guys off of me. And one of the things that they did was the other ship is actually hitting me with EMPs, which is preventing me from being able to fire at them. It's kind of a cruel duality right there, but you know, I tried again to use the turrets, and I'm like, this is just not working, and I decided to bail back out and go back into flying the ship because I'm a little bit more useful if I can move the ship around rather than just firing turrets. Yeah, if I had a buddy, there's a slight chance this would have been a different outcome, but I'm not sure. Especially once they started hitting me with these EMPs, because my shields were low enough that the EMPs started affecting me a lot. You can see that every time my screens black out, I'm not able to shoot. I can follow them, but I can't do anything about them. And I tried to ram them, but due to lag, they were actually somewhere else. And then I'm like, okay, hey, look, I can go and jump. Right as I was going to jump, it like, nope, you're not going to jump. So I really was frustrated at this point. Actually, my adrenaline had jumped so high that I was shaking to a really extreme point, like almost like I'd just gotten off a really scary roller coaster. It was really, really an intense fight here. And as these guys continued to just hit me all over the place, I could not follow them long enough to actually hit them and do any damage because they kept tagging me with the EMPs, and or at least I'm pretty sure it's an EMP. If it's different, go ahead and tell me in the comments below if I'm using the wrong terminology, but I'm pretty sure that that ship uses an EMP. And I'm almost wondering if the devs wouldn't be wise to give these 2 ships a little bit of a limiter so that they can't continuously do this. They have to beat the U within a certain period of time, or they would run out of power or something like that, because I'm kind of feeling a little bit overkill at this point. Now, this was the point where I realized my biggest tactical failure was I went to space. I tried very hard at this point to just bail out and go straight for the ground. And it turns out they did enough damage to my engines that I started losing all thrust. Yeah, you can see it right there. And then all of a sudden, everything was wrong. Yeah, my ship had died. I was disabled. Now, from this point, I was like, I'm still alive. They're not going to kill me. They're going to take my cargo. This is a full load of cargo. This is 4 million credits of cargo. And yes, I did the stupid thing, and I actually used all my money. I only have less than 200,000 credits left. I went into the game afterwards. But I learned something, especially with the couple of pirate attacks that I've had. Carry a gun, and 2, I found out that the C2 has a beautiful little lockout if you can find a cargo box. So let's go look at that. These halls are so long as well. And I've never actually been in 0G in a C2. It's fascinating to me, and I think the 0G really needs to work differently in this game, but I don't know how the devs would fix it, so I'm not going to suggest anything right now. But look over here, I've got a cargo box on top of this ladder. And these guys, when they finally show up, they actually cannot get up into this upper area of the ship, which means they're gonna have to destroy the ship eventually. And it also means they can't repair the ship to the point where they can fly the ship. So I think that's kind of a cool thing. I was kind of surprised by that. But I was waiting for them, and I was really hoping that I could maybe take out one of them, just give them a bad day, because I knew I was screwed at this point. I was also kind of wondering if I might be able to get into the other ship, like he might have left his door open or something like that, you know, you never know. But what I didn't catch on was, because of this wonky, messed up directions that I'm getting when I try to move around, he had actually shown up, and I was like, crap, I couldn't look. And here we go. He's almost here. Let's go. I noticed the door was open, and I was like, oh, yes, 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 yes. I can maybe get him. And that was it. I lost all 4 million credits. If I had sold it, it would have been sold at 5 million credits. But that's all I got for you guys. I don't know how to really defend against this, except for maybe don't take off when pirates are nearby. I don't know. But you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.